Representative Vander Woude.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and as to stand possibly as the lone voice against this, I would like to point out a few things that on page 3, when we're calling this a state exchange, on page 3 on line 47, we are adopting by federal standards the section of code. It's not state. We are now adopting federal regulations, and any new regulations that they pass on down, we're automatically saying those are good without review, without looking at them. I think that's a very dangerous precedent to set. I've seen it happen in a few other instances. When I adopt a federal standard, I would like to see it before I adopt it. I think that's a very dangerous part in this bill. I also, if you go to page 4, and we've talked about a state exchange, and you go to line 6 through 9 or 6 through 8, the bylaws are written by the board. They're not approved by anybody besides the board itself. And any changes in the bylaws are at the discretion of the Director of Insurance. There's no state approval of bylaw changes. There's no oversight in bylaw changes outside of they will report to us the bylaw changes. And while I can appreciate the Gang of 16 in their recommendations to improve this bill, there was one recommendation that I brought that I would like to have the fee capped at $10. Because as we've seen with a lot of different numbers that are floating around here that are saying, you know, well, it's going to cost $20 million, it's going to cost $30 million, it's going to be cheaper than the feds, it's only going to cost $5, now it's $7, and it's $6.88. I understand it's hard to know what the exact figure is going to be until we know what the structure is going to be. So I had recommended that we put into this bill a cap of $10. And I was told this is not a state agency. We cannot control the cap. We cannot put that into this bill because then we as a state are interfering with a non-state agency. So we cannot cap the fee. We have put them on a stipulation that they have to be self-sufficient. That fee could be $200. It could be $500. It could be $5. But they have to be self-sufficient. So we're hanging our hat on their self-sufficiency, but we're not capping what we're going to be charged when we get done with this. And there's no protection for religious conscience in this bill, which I would have liked to have had. If the federal government can grant religious protection to religious agencies, such as universities that are religious, why can't the government grant religious conscience exceptions to individuals? My religion as an individual, to me, is just as important as a Catholic religion may be to a university, and it's my own personal religion. It's not somebody else's. It's mine, and I believe that this bill does not protect that part of it, and so Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I guess I will stand as the lone voice against this bill.